Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I am Gary, your host. Oh, but we are in February and approaching Valentine's Day. That makes me the Love Master. Ooh, that's bad. Won't be using that again. This is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. This time, for the approaching Valentine's Day, I want to take a look at this old classic romance comic. Yeah, do romance. Do some romance comics. This is just the first for Valentine's Day. And this one is Girls' Romances, number 34 from DC Comics 1955. And it was a long-running title from 1950 to 1971 for a total of 160 issues. And it had a wide variety of artists, such as Mike Sekowski, Gene Colan, Lee Elias, John Romita Sr., John Rosenberger, Alex Toth, and many, many more. So this is 55. So this is it's just barely postcode, and you can see how large the Comics Code stamp is on the cover here. Very large, very prominent, because they wanted everyone to know that it was definitely Comics Code approved. But there probably would not have been much difference between these romance comics, if any, pre or post code. Not like the horror and science fiction, all those others. And what is surprising is that it doesn't say DC Comics anywhere on it or in it either. So I only tell it's DC Comics is when I looked it up and did a little bit of research. Some panels from this title in 63 and 64 were used as references by Roy Lichtenstein for some of his pop art paintings, such as my version of this one, I Know How You Must Feel, Brad. I think that came from Girls' Romances. I'm not positive. I mentioned it in the when I did my Roy Lichtenstein episode. So let's take a brief trip into Girls' Romances, number 34 from 1955. It's an old book, and it's in really, really nice shape. Of course, it's well used, well read, and I have no idea where I got them. All these older ones that I've got, had them for years, and probably picked them up at out of the dollar boxes because they're most comic fans just are not interested in the old romance comics. There it is on the cover. It says, Dick and I had been sweethearts since childhood, yet through all the years the fear haunted me that somehow, somewhere, in some way I'd lose him. My love is not mine. Love stories that could happen to you. And Girls' Romances. So these are all told. Here it has a pretty nice, instead of ads on the interior cover, is a table of contents. Nicely drawn. Looks like Lee Elias spot illos there. And These are all told first-person stories from this girl's perspective, the girl's perspective. And here's this one. It says, "Let me leave you." Okay, and this is, I believe this is some early Mike Sekowski art. And it's very nice, very lovely, and a far cry from his work, later work on the Justice League, but a style that he returned back to when he was doing Wonder Woman later in the 60s. And here's this young lady is a ballerina, and she is at the ballet, runs into a guy who admits he's not interested, doesn't like ballet. He came with a friend. They get to talking, chatting, yada yada yada, and they go out for a bite to eat. Then, of course, like the next day or whatever, she takes him to the dance studio while she's working out, and he applauds her, and he begins to have a little bit of appreciation for ballet, and they get to canoodling, and they start dating, start seeing one another. And she is an aspiring ballet dancer herself. Here they're coming up, and she has to break a date because she's got a not an interview, a tryout. I can't think of the word, but you know what I mean. She's trying out for this ballet troupe. There she gets a job. She's just in like one of the girls in the chorus line. She's not by any means a prima ballerina or anything, but she starts working her way up. And he's happy for her, but he's not happy that she's making headway in the ballet world. And then she starts going around. They're on the road, and so she's sometimes gone for weeks or months at a time. And of course, he's not happy with it. But then she's got a chance to go. They're going on a tour in Europe. And they're supposed to get on the boat, and she's going to be gone for many months, and he is not happy about it. He wants her to stay here with him, marry him, and yada yada yada. And but this has been my passion, my lifelong dream, yada yada yada. So she's on the ship as they're about ready to pull away from the dock, and she's looking for him in the crowd. She can't find him in the crowd. Oh no! And she's so sad, and she rushes and leaves the boat, leaves the ship. You can see over here, leaves the ship, and there he is. Right at the last minute, he got there, and she jumps into his arms and says, "No, I'm not leaving. I want to stay with you." And then the boat pulls away, and she forsakes her dream as a ballerina to be with him. It's like, gag me with a spoon. If he were a real really loved her and was supporting, it wouldn't have mattered. He should not have objected to her going to Europe to fulfill her dream. But she had to sacrifice, this is the 50s, and she had to sacrifice her personal dreams and her profession to be his wife. Now that is just horrible, really horrible. But it was the 50s. Here we go. Just for a day, it's summertime, going to a vacation camp for a week on an island called Lodge Island, somewhere in this big old lake, or maybe just off the coast, somewhere in the Northeast. I don't know. And the girl of the story is alone in the transport boat with the fella of the story. Of course, they don't know each other, but she is really attracted to him. And keeps seeing him. She talks with some of the other girls, and finds out that he had been there the year before, met somebody, and is now engaged. So while she keeps eyeballing him, she keeps running into him at various events, but they never speak. But she knows who he is. And then it's time for her to go, and here he comes. He's going to be on the same boat. And I think the artwork here is real nice. And I think this is Ross Andru. Another later Wonder Woman alum, and he did a lot of at this time he was doing a lot of the war stories, or a little bit later than this, did a lot of DC war stories, and and of course Wonder Woman, and later better known for his Superman and Spider-Man tenures. But it is some really nice. See, that's one of the things with the romance comics artists had to be able to do realistic looking people, but with very lovely ladies and handsome young men in normal clothes, and with a spot on fashion and stuff and hairstyles. And this is all very lovely. So anyway, they're heading back to the mainland. And the boat breaks down. They have to stop over for the captain to repair the boat at a little tiny unoccupied island. So they're out there. They're going to have a little picnic while he's working on the boat. They walk around, talk. Then they find out that they had both been interested in each other on the island. And said, "But you're engaged." Said, "Yes, but I'm." He's having second thoughts. One of the reasons he went there was to regain the feeling and see if his feelings were correct before. But now he's come, and they get to a little canoodling, but they just kissed the once. No, we can't be. Then the boat is repaired. They head on back, and they say goodbye at the train. Going to say goodbye at the train station. But her train comes because he's on a later train, but she can't. She lets the train go. No, he was supposed to be on the first train, and she's waiting for her train. Turns out he got off, did not go on his train, and says, "No, it's you. I was having second thoughts about this other girl, but you're the one I love." Like they've known each other for one day, and they kiss, and he's going to break off his engagement to them. That's a little iffy if you ask me, but this is 1955. And it's all nicely drawn. Now here's another one. I really cannot tell who this artist is, but I really like it. Some call it Love, but it's a very, very nice line work. It's some nice, really nice anatomy on these figures. And the line work, especially on the figures, is just very lovely. The nice thick and thin, and everything. It's just a beautiful line work. Now this is a girl going to spend some time with her at her sister's house, her married sister, and they're having another friend who's staying by. Now it's funny because this is a really nice figure. This lady here, they bump into one another. Her stuff drops. He's got to be a tough macho guy, and he laughs stuff off. And she thinks he's really horrendous. Now the funny thing is, and I don't know if it's intentional or not, but this fellow, the object, all through this, he really looks like photographs that I have seen of young Frank Frazetta from the early 50s. And I wonder if that's not intentional somehow, or just accidental, because he does. And I was wondering if maybe, because some of the stuff kind of makes me think a little bit of maybe early John Buscema, but not. So I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know who it is. It could be, but I doubt it. So they're having dates together with her sister, and she's not thrilled with the guy, but she seems to be obsessed with not liking him. But they do, when they go out and they do dance, and they do have a good time, and then finally she succumbs, and it's smoochy is really nice hair. He really looks like a young Frank Frazetta there, and some other things, but she stops but she's just so heartsick, thinking about this guy who she doesn't like, because he's just not a very nice guy. And then there's at this big picnic with a bunch of people, and she's glad because he's not supposed to be there, but then he shows up, and then he stops and he talks to her and says, "I'm sorry, I was just raised to be I've always thought it best for me to put on the macho thing and be a tough guy, but you touch my heart, yada yada yada, lovey." And see, this is where he really looks like some of the pictures of young Frank Frazetta. In fact, this pose right here looks so much like a photograph that I have seen of young Frank Frazetta. And then but he's walking away. He says, "But if you don't want me, I'll just go off and I'll never bother you again. But, she thinks, Brad. And they run into each other's arms. Oh, it's love. And it's true love, 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 love. Now, don't get me wrong. I love romance comics, but they are just so hokey. But it's a lot of fun. Here's an ad for another romance comic. And then we have Julia Roberts. This is not the actress. Julia Roberts, Romance Report. And answering letters. Then here is the one from the cover. My love is not mine, using the same illustration for the splash page. And this is this young girl. She's in love with this fellow, and going back to when they first met as children at for like a 4th of July party or a birthday party or something. They're having sack races, and they have to team up together. And she stumbles, and she spoils their chances in the sack race. But he doesn't mind, and she just thinks, but she is just agog with him for years, even though they went to school and in high school. She's not happy with him. I mean, not happy with her. Afraid that she likes him, but afraid that he just doesn't like her. And then he winds up talking to her and walking her home, and they start seeing each other a little bit. Then a short time later, this is in high school, and they're at another event, and they're teamed up again in the canoe race. Tweet! And then going off, and while they're getting ahead, they might win. Oh, she stumbles, and she capsizes the boat, and they lose the race. And terrible. And he said, oh, no, I'm going to lose him. I'm so terrible for him, yada, yada, yada. And then some other time they're at a dance contest. Oh, and they're doing great. She's so happy. And then her dress rips. And she's just mortified, and she runs off, and they lose the race at the dance contest. Oh, and but he is still with her. And here they are. That's some other thing, and getting in college, and there's she spots this pretty blonde lady, and he glances her way, and it's her. He's going to lose. She's going to lose him. And she's just so self-deprecating and no confidence in herself at all. So they're supposed to be at a party, and she's getting ready, and when she gets there, she sees him dancing with that blonde lady while he was waiting for her to arrive. And she's mortified and goes, I hate you. So jealous. And he runs after her and says, stop, it's nothing. It's you I love. I always have been. I was just waiting for you. Oh, no, it doesn't matter that. And she said, but I've lost everything and I've caused you to lose. I said, no, it doesn't matter. Those things don't matter. All that matters is that we are together, and it's you. And so there she is. Oh, if that doesn't help promote some of the lack in confidence and stuff of women, young girls from the 50s, I don't know what would. And then there's just a single one-pager here on the inside back cover. So notice hardly any ads in this book at all, except for house ads. And this is called The Prophecy, and this is drawn by Lee Elias. I can recognize this style, and I meant to talk. So again, some really nice artwork. I don't know who did this one. Could it have been J. Scott Pike, maybe? I don't know. I can't tell. I recognize. I've seen it the art style many times before, and but I can't identify the artist. Maybe it could be Mike Sekowski again, but I don't think so. Could be. I'm not sure. It's close enough, but it's distant enough. So there we have Girls' Romances number 34, 1955, and they're fun reads, but it's such an eye into what girls were to expect in the 1950s. And if anything, it really helps, discourage the girls and women to expand their own horizons, if you ask me. But it's a product of its time, and it's the kind of stuff that was expected. If they had diverged too much, it would have probably never passed the comics code. So that's what I've got for you this time. And and it took a lot longer than I had anticipated. So please like, share, and subscribe. What do you think of 50s girls' romances? And let me know in the comments below. Did you like the artwork? Did you like the stories? The writing was well done. It's just the way the stories were presented, I didn't care for. Because it's really extremely anti-feminist, if you ask me. So that's all I've got. Like, share, subscribe, leave your comments, and remember, comics are art.